Sources tell us Attorney General Pam Bondi is opening a grand jury investigation into Russiagate. This after DNI Gabbard issued a criminal referral claiming former Obama officials manufactured intelligence linking President Trump to the Kremlin. So let's bring in Trey Gowdy. He's host of Sunday Night in America and author of the sure to be bestseller. It's a new novel. It's his first. It's called The Color of Death, and we look forward to that. Trey, here's what President Trump said on Truth Social. The truth always wins out. This is great news. God bless America. And a White House spokesman told the New York Post, this effort aims to provide the American people with the truth about the extent to which former government officials worked to sabotage the Trump administration and undermine the will of the American people in a clear attempt to subvert our constitutional republic. Can you explain to people in your way, which is always so clear for us non-lawyers, what is happening here?
Well, it started with Hillary Clinton's email, and they needed a distraction, a diversion, so they concocted this idea that Trump was colluding with Russia. I mean, that happens in politics. What's different here, Dana, is the Clinton campaign was acting in concert with the CIA and the FBI and perhaps Barack Obama. So you have all these groups that we give immense power to that were actively trying to help one political candidate while hurting the other. And then when that failed, they put a cloud over the other one's presidency. I mean, he lost essentially his first term in office. So that's the politics of it. The legality of it is, was there a criminal conspiracy? And the only way to determine that is to investigate it using a grand jury. Look, Congress, they can send subpoenas and they get turned into paper airplanes and thrown back at you. That's not true of grand jury subpoenas. You have to comply with it. They can make witnesses come and testify or invoke a privilege. They can go, you fill in the blank kind of documents, phone records, text records, bank records. They don't have to ask for it. They go get it. So it is a powerful investigative tool. Whether or not there's a statute that fits within the statute of limitations remains to be seen.
Okay, so there is a saying that a grand jury could indict a ham sandwich. Former administration officials aren't necessarily ham sandwiches. Obama, I guess, would have immunity as President Trump established during that Supreme Court ruling. But that doesn't mean that others couldn't, like the former CIA director, Brennan. So is the statute of limitations something that he can rely on if the grand jury does go forward and decides to push forward to a trial?
Well, it all depends, Dana. So let's imagine that you and I come up with a 371 conspiracy to defraud the United States. Can we find an act within the window within the statute of limitations? Can we find an act that was in furtherance of that conspiracy? You can argue that efforts to conceal, efforts to lie, but we have to find that act within the statute of limitations, and then you can bootstrap back and include things that happened even outside the statute of limitations. It is true, a grand jury, a prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich, but what is not true is you can't convict them. So getting an indictment, arresting someone is of no consequence if you can't get a conviction, and prosecutors know that. So the standard for charging someone is much lower than the standard for convicting. So DOJ, an indictment's not a win. A conviction is a win.
There's also another angle of this separate to this. There was the special counsel, Jack Smith. And he was the one who wanted to go forward to try to prosecute former President Trump, now President Trump again. You can see how you could get a little confused. But this is what Senator Tom Cotton said about it last night on Hannity.
Anybody with two eyes to see could say that he was simply racing the clock to try to get these cases to a jury in Washington, D.C., to convict Donald Trump and imprison him before the American people could elect him. There's no logical explanation for those decisions other than a desire to rush these cases through the system. Jack Smith even acknowledged that in his final result, that he was driven in no small part by trying to reach a verdict before the election.
All right, Trey, can you explain that to us? What is the next step here?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, Tom Cotton is not known for some, right-wing MAGA conspiracy theorist. I mean, he's a pretty measured guy. So for him to make a referral, the allegation is that Jack Smith, as a federal prosecutor, engaged in political activity to benefit a candidate by trying to rush through these indictments and prosecutions. Now, Jack Smith's response will be, because I can't prosecute a sitting president, of course I was moving faster. Tom Cotton's response back would be, well, then why didn't you start sooner? Why did you do this during an election year and move at breakneck speed faster than you move against carjackers and kidnappers?
I mean, those are good questions. This is why you are Trey Gowdy and one of our very favorite guests. And I'm looking forward to The Color of Death is out later this month. Thank you, Trey.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.